Coming up on Around San Diego, home insurance companies are taking inspections to new heights, literally. Our Shannon Handy is working for you with more on the technology being used to determine if you can get a policy or not. And the trial starts for a former TikTok star accused of killing his estranged wife and her friend. We were inside the courtroom for opening statements. Plus, pet shelters around San Diego County are in a state of emergency, overcrowded by hundreds. How you can help. Thanks so much for joining us as we take you around San Diego. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day. I'll get you caught up on a week's worth of news and look ahead in less than 30 minutes. We do begin with canceled insurance policies.
The practice of the way they're doing it is what's new, and it feels a little bit creepy. I get it.
Yeah, so home insurance companies are taking inspections to new heights in determining whether or not to drop coverage. CBS 8's Shannon Handy is working for you to find out about the technology that more companies are now using to determine if you're in or out.
In the past, companies would send inspectors to your home, but we've learned here in San Diego they're now using drones and other technology to survey your property before deciding whether to insure it or not.
This is nothing new as far as looking at homes and looking at properties at renewal.
Insurance expert Carl Sussman says while taking pictures of a home before renewing a policy is normal, he acknowledges the strategy more companies are now using to do it can feel a bit invasive.
It's just the idea feels a little bit awkward and a little weird and a little strange to have, not know when it's happening.
Recently, a CBS 8 colleague of mine received a notice letting them know satellite imagery showed moss on their roof, which could result in a canceled policy if it wasn't taken care of. A spokesperson with nonprofit consumer advocacy organization United Policyholders told me there's been a dramatic increase in reports from customers with similar stories. Homeowners claim drones and other devices captured things like debris and in one case a drained pool, all of which led to their policies getting dropped.
What we're seeing is companies that are at renewal going and looking at the risks that they have to determine if there's what's called deferred maintenance, for example.
I asked Sussman if we're seeing this happen more now because companies are looking for reasons to drop customers. He says, while that's possible, more than anything, they're gearing up for home insurance regulations to change by the end of the year, which will allow them to offer underwriting discounts.
The only difference is right now, it's an all or nothing, right? It's either you must have it fixed or you can't have the policy, whereas with the new regulations, you'll have the option. Do you want to pay more by not fixing your roof, or do you want to get a discount for having a new roof?
Sussman says the overall goal of this practice is to not have a claim, but given the fact insurance companies in California are letting go of more and more customers, he advises if your insurance company points out something, don't hesitate to get it fixed.
It's your best bet to just get it fixed right away.
Absolutely, right. Because again, the carrier doesn't have the option to underwrite based on it. It's all or nothing until these new regulations come out.
Working for you, I'm Shannon Handy for CBS 8.
Interesting and affecting a lot of people. Shannon, thanks. Well, crews have installed temporary fencing around the Oceanside Pier. They are trying to block access after last week's fire. Right now, the fire department is ruling out arson as a possible cause. The fire gutted a building that used to house a restaurant. Investigators say the fire started outside of the building, actually, on the northwest corner of the pier, possibly underneath the promenade deck. They say that the fire appears to have been accidental. Now, city leaders are asking Governor Gavin Newsom for state funding to repair the pier. Well, the trial just started for a popular TikTok star accused of killing his estranged wife and her friend at a luxury high-rise apartment in downtown San Diego. CBS 8's Steve Price was in the courtroom for opening statements.
Both sides agree on one thing. Ali Abulabon killed his estranged wife and her friend. But when it comes to why this happened, there are two very different stories.
Jack was the defendant executing Anna and Ray. Cold, calculated murders.
Prosecutors say Ali Abulabon, known to nearly 1 million TikTok followers as Jin Kid, killed his estranged wife Anna and her friend Ray Barron during a jealous rage. Deputy District Attorney Taryn Brass laid out her case today in opening arguments. Abulabon faces several charges, including 2 counts of first-degree murder.
And he walked towards Anna and Ray on the couch. He wrapped his done again and fired 4 more shots.
It happened October 21st, 2021 at the Spire San Diego luxury high-rise apartment complex in the East Village. Abulaban was no longer living there with Anna, but prosecutors say he continued to listen to his wife's conversations through an app he secretly installed on their daughter's iPad. Prosecutors say Abulaban heard Anna and Ray laughing, entered the apartment with a key that he said he returned but never did, and shot them, hitting Ray 3 times in the head and neck area and Anna once in the head.
At the end of this trial, I will ask that you find the defendant guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder.
Abulaban's attorney admits her client killed both victims, but says Anna drove him to the edge by introducing him to drugs, lying to him, and having a relationship with another man.
Anna knew Ali well. She knew exactly what to say and how to say it to cut him directly to the bone. She knew his underlying vulnerabilities.
Public defender Jody Green says this was a crime of passion and done without malice.
Ali felt like he was watching someone else move across the room towards Ray and Anna in a blur. Shots rang out, first at Ray and then at Anna. It all happened so fast, literally in a matter of seconds. He ran out of the apartment, mumbling to himself, speaking incoherently. He went back into the apartment and cried out, "Anna, Anna, Anna," still in shock.
This trial is expected to last 4 weeks. If convicted on all charges, Abulaban could face the death penalty. At the downtown courthouse, Steve Price, CBS 8.
Steve, thank you. Well, this is what it looked like on Thursday as pro-Palestinian protesters gathered at an encampment at UC San Diego with a list of demands for the university. They want the school to speak up and denounce what's happening in Gaza. They also are demanding that they stop doing business with Israel or companies that are connected to the war in Gaza. So far, from what our CBS 8 crews have seen, these protests have stayed peaceful locally. It has been a lot of speakers, music, and people dancing. Students we spoke to say they want it to stay that way.
Of course, we're worried about our safety, and we really hope that the school decides to prioritize the student safety, as a lot of the people here are just students, and they're just very passionate people and really care about the cause.
Yeah, UC San Diego said that it supports everyone's right to protest, and administrators say they just want things to stay peaceful. Stay with CBS8.com for developments. Well, the superintendent of Poway Unified School District has been fired. The family of a softball player at Del Norte High School filed a lawsuit last November that claims Dr. Marion Kim Phelps bullied the student and some of her teammates for supposedly not clapping loudly enough for Phelps's daughter at a team banquet. Phelps has been on administrative leave since February. This week, the school board voted unanimously to terminate her with cause effective immediately.
The investigation brought to light previously unknown evidence from witnesses with direct firsthand knowledge that contradicted Dr. Phelps' statements and assertions to the board, district staff, and the public.
Investigators interviewed 41 witnesses, many of them students. The students' lawsuit against Phelps is moving forward. Well, a family and community is in mourning after a 13-year-old boy was killed in a crash in Escondido. A candlelight vigil was held this week. Rodrigo Tapia Jr. died when the car he was in crashed into another near North Broadway and Country Club Lane. Police believe the driver, his sister's boyfriend, 20-year-old Alexander Aros, was underage drinking. He was arrested on suspicion of felony DUI and gross vehicular manslaughter. Junior's family says that they are thankful for the community's support.
We're a wreck, but we just thank the whole community that's been helping us out tremendously. Like, thank you so much. We have no idea how much it's been meaningful for us.
The Escondido American Little League also just recently hosted a memorial fundraiser. He had dreams of playing for the Padres. Well, we are learning new details about a plane crash in an El Cajon neighborhood. The pilot was able to land narrowly, avoiding homes and vehicles. Audio between the pilot and air traffic controllers indicate the plane was having engine trouble and it had lost its oil pressure. Records show the plane took off from Gillespie Field and headed east. It crashed just 30 minutes after takeoff. The woman who lives at the house next to that crash site says that she heard a loud bang and rushed outside to see what had happened.
We're sitting there watching TV, just finished dinner, and we hear this noise. So my husband and I both run out. He runs out and sees that it's an airplane. I just saw that there was a crash. So I ran back in to grab my phone, called 911. And as I'm calling 911, I can see that the engine's smoking a little.
Wow, just wow. So yeah, the pilot was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Right now, we know that the plane was registered to a Santee address, but the name of the pilot not yet been released. Well, a federal jury has ruled officers with the Chula Vista Police Department did not cause the death of a man in their custody. 4 years ago, the family of Oral Nunes called police after they said that he was suffering a mental health episode. Instead of helping, the family says police used excessive force that led to his death.
I'm not sure if justice has been served. I feel numb. Right now, I'm just trying to process what just happened. And I'm just trying to deal with the grief.
Yeah, in a statement, the city of Chula Vista says, quote, while we believe the outcome reached is just and that Chula Vista's police officers acted lawfully and reasonably, the Nunes family's loss is heartbreaking, end quote. Well, right now, animal shelters and organizations across San Diego County are in a state of emergency, saying that they are having a difficult time caring for an influx of animals. The shelters just held a joint news conference to talk about the increase in animals coming in and really how challenging it's been for them to handle. The situation is so serious, the San Diego Humane Society's zero euthanasia rate, a promise that they made to themselves and others, is now at risk.
This is pretty much new territory. We have never seen numbers like this. This is testing that promise in all the worst ways, but I think we're going to be able to hold firm on it.
Okay, so to give you an idea of just how overcrowded San Diego Humane Society alone is, so capacity is considered 385. Right now, they have more than 1,000 animals. If you are interested in fostering or adopting an animal, head to our website, cbs8.com. They could use your help. Well, paradise for a price. We are now taking a closer look at the new record-breaking cost of housing in San Diego. You know it. The overall median home price in San Diego County is now $865,000, an all-time high. CoreLogic reports this includes all homes like condos and single-family properties. This is a 10% increase from this time last year. That means San Diego's housing market is the second most expensive in Southern California. Orange County is number one. Mortgage lenders say it's not clear when prices or mortgage rates will come down, so it's important that buyers are pragmatic.
The issue continues to be that we don't have enough inventory, and pent-up demand from buyers is really strong.
It really kind of constrains the market and creates this bottleneck because without people wanting to sell their homes, then there's not enough inventory on the market.
Yeah, so one other issue complicating the home buying process here in San Diego is the ability to buy insurance for a new home in order to finalize the sale. This seriously impacts fire or flood-prone areas. Well, coming up, an iconic house in Point Loma is no more. What's happening to the Seashell House? Giant pandas will soon be back at the San Diego Zoo. The San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance says its caretakers recently visited the pair that will be making the journey from China to San Diego. Their names are Yun Chuan and Sing Bao. The two will be cared for at the zoo as part of an ongoing conservation partnership between the two nations. An exact date for the handoff has not yet been set, but we're excited. All right, well, a Point Loma landmark is really left in pieces now. Have you ever seen this shell house? Look at this. So this garden of shells has been in newspapers, magazines, and on sightseeing lists for years. Well, a neighbor now says the man who lived there, Frank, was a Portuguese fisherman who would bring home shells from his travels. But a few days ago, people in the area noticed that those shells were demolished and really ended up in pieces in the trash. But it will be remembered by locals as an iconic spot.
Everybody comes by, and there's people coming, they would just sit in front and take pictures because it's different.
Why are the shells getting removed? The family who owns the house says Frank's wife, Eliza, passed away a few months ago at the age of 103. So now they are deciding what to do with the house, and they say the shells had to go. Still ahead, Feeding San Diego is using new technology to help people in need. Those details coming up in our Earth 8 report next. Feeding San Diego is using new technology to speed up the process of getting food to people in need. In this week's Earth 8 report, Evan Narani is riding along with a volunteer and tells us how you at home can help.
Thank you very much.
Feeding people in need is often a race against time. Just ask Dan Lockenbrook.
1 out of 4 kids in the United States, goes to bed hungry. 1 out of 4. And we're throwing away 40% of our food. It's just got to be a better way.
He's a retired firefighter and now a volunteer with Feeding San Diego, but not in the way you might expect. Every Tuesday, you'll find him driving this orange van around the county to grocery stores, gathering donations of surplus food and transporting it to those who need it.
I just feel like we can all do something extra to help out.
It might sound typical, but new technology implemented by Feeding America is helping decentralize that process, so Dan can take that food directly from the grocery store to an organization that will distribute it, skipping over a central warehouse.
Okay, let's go see what we got here.
Today, the food is being brought directly to Ruth Anointed World Ministries in Escondido for a distribution set for the next day.
There you go.
Peggy Franklin is their director of food distribution and is tasked with ensuring everyone has a balanced distribution of food.
So I kind of see what I have here and I know what I have to get to provide for at least 200 to 300 families for tomorrow.
Peggy says the number of families coming out each week is continuing to grow, and they come from across the county. It's why volunteers like Dan are so needed.
Dan is great. I don't know what I would do without him. I don't want to ever have to do without him.
This is perfectly good food. This is perfectly good food.
The surplus food from grocery chains accounts for 76% of the food that Feeding San Diego distributes. They say that adds up to about 1.2 million pounds of food rescued every month.
To be able to feed these families is amazing that, we're able to do this along with the help of Feeding San Diego and, other agencies that we work with. We wouldn't be able to do it.
The reason for all of this, beyond feeding hungry San Diegans, is its impact on the environment. All this food would traditionally go to landfills, emitting methane gas in the process as it rots and hurting the planet. In California, SB 1383 now requires stores to donate that leftover food to help slow climate change, an effort that many, including Dan, say is moving far too slow.
It would have been nice to get started a long time ago. So, yeah, I'm not super proud of what my generation has done here.
But that's where Feeding San Diego could use your help. They need more volunteers to commit to recurring food pickups or even sporadic pickups as needed. You can go to their website, feedingsandiego.org, for more on how to volunteer in your community. In Escondido, Evan Narani, CBS 8.
That'll do it for us. Take good care.